As we approach the end of financial year, now is a really great time to take advantage of opportunities to grow your retirement savings, with some clever strategies also helping to reduce your taxable income just before tax time. Let's dive into some key actions to consider putting on your end of financial year checklist, which could also help to set you up for a more secure financial future. Now, when we talk about concessional contributions, most people will think about their mandatory employer super contributions, but they also include certain voluntary contributions that you can make, which can also be a great tax-effective way to top up your retirement savings. So, how do you make concessional contributions on top of what your employer might be chipping in? Well, you can ask your employer to contribute some of your pre-tax salary to your super fund, which also reduces your taxable income, and this is known as a salary sacrifice arrangement. Otherwise, if that's not for you, you could look at making personal contributions with your take-home pay, income from self-employment, or other funds that you might have available, and then you can claim a tax deduction at tax time. Now, like other contribution types, there is an annual cap or limit on concessional contributions, and that limit is currently $30,000. Now, on top of that, there are a range of eligibility rules that you need to meet to make these contributions, including that you're under age 75, and if you're age 67 or older, you do need to meet a work test to be eligible to contribute. You can visit ato.gov.au for more information. So let's have a closer look at personal deductible contributions. So if you do have funds available and you make a personal contribution to super, you might also be eligible to claim a tax deduction, helping to stretch your retirement savings even further. Now, personal deductible contributions can be a great option towards the end of financial year once you have a better idea of how your final tax position looks and how much you've got left to contribute after your annual expenses. Now, while the tax savings are similar to a salary sacrifice arrangement, putting an agreement in place with your employer at this time of year might not allow you to maximise your concessional cap, and that's because you can only sacrifice future entitlements. Whereas on the other hand, subject to your fund's cut-off date, you may actually be able to make a larger personal contribution closer to the end of financial year and then claim that tax deduction in your tax return. Now, to do that, there's some important steps that you do have to follow, and keep in mind that these contributions do count towards your concessional cap. So it's important to be mindful of those concessional limits as well as the other concessional contributions that you might receive between now and the end of financial year, which could, for example, include any super contributions made by your employer on top of your annual bonus payments. If you don't use your concessional contributions cap in full in a financial year, you're actually able to carry those unused amounts forward for 5 financial years, meaning that you may be able to make even larger concessional contributions in a future year where your circumstances allow. And these are referred to catch-up contributions. Now, while there may be limited time at the end of financial year to take full advantage of your catch-up contributions through a salary sacrifice arrangement, you could actually consider making a personal deductible contribution and then claiming a tax deduction, which leads to a very similar outcome. Now, on top of the usual eligibility rules that apply to contributions, you'll need to check that your total super balance was less than $500,000 at the end of last financial year. So check your own records and statements against information located on your MyGov account to check whether you're able to use the catch-up contribution rule. Non-concessional contributions are contributions that you make with funds such as your take-home pay or savings. It could include windfalls from events such as the sale of a property or an inheritance. Now, if you have got extra funds available, this could be a great way to further boost your retirement savings. Now, you won't pay any tax on non-concessional contributions that you make to super up to an annual limit, which is currently $120,000 this financial year. And if you're eligible, you may also be able to use bring forward contributions, meaning bringing forward non-concessional cap from either 2 or 3 financial years. What's even better than saving for retirement is saving on tax while in the process or getting a top up from the government. So let's have a look at the government co-contribution and how that works. So if your income is below certain limits and you make a personal non-concessional contribution, you might also be eligible for a government co-contribution of up to $500. Now, while $500 might not seem like a lot today, if you do this year on year and you're eligible, the benefits can really add up over time. So if you want to calculate what co-contribution you could be entitled to, visit ato.gov.au and do a search for Super Co-Contribution Calculator. Now let's have a look at the spouse contribution tax offset. So with this one, if your spouse earns less than $40,000 and you make a contribution to their super account, you could benefit from a tax offset of up to $540. So not only will you be helping your spouse's superannuation balance to grow, but it could also help you to save on your own tax. Now remember, the tips that we've just gone through not only help you to reduce your taxable income, but they can also play a really big role in securing a better retirement. So don't wait, get these steps in place before 30 June.